Hello. You may have heard about the recent sudden passing of miniature sculptor and artist Colin Dixon. This is just a brief video to remember some of his work, his career, his time at Games Workshop, and the wonderful impact that he had on our hobby. Every individual is of course more than just their work or even their art, but for many of us who will never meet that person, the only way we can really engage with or connect in some small way, or even take joy from their presence in the world, is through that art. And for an artist like Colin Dixon, there is a great deal of amazing, wonderful, joyful work to indulge in. He worked at Games Workshop for 17 years, and latterly worked with Perry Miniatures as well. Now, truthfully, I wasn't sure if I was going to make this video, if it would even be appropriate for me to do so. I was never lucky enough to meet Colin Dixon in real life, and I certainly wouldn't want to exploit or in any way diminish the tragedy of his passing. But after speaking to one of Colin's friends and former colleagues, it did feel like there might be some appropriateness to me taking some time to celebrate and remember the incredible contributions that Colin Dixon made to my hobby, and most likely to yours as well, and without a doubt, to the entire Warhammer world. The third Citadel Compendium, released in 1985, featured a Chaos Battle banner drawing competition. In spring of the following year, the next issue of the Citadel Journal revealed the winning entry, Colin Dixon of Swanwick, who won £50 worth of loot from the Citadel forges. After getting noticed for his incredible art, Colin Dixon was offered a job at the studio by John Blanche, and he would go through many roles whilst he was there. He would be a painter, an artist, and of course, a sculptor. In his capacity as an illustrator, Colin Dixon produced art included in the third edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, The Lost and the Damned, Blood Bowl, Fury of Dracula, and much more. As the first full-time painter hired by Games Workshop, Dixon was instrumental in the progression of heavy metal, and reportedly mentored a young Mike McVeigh when he first joined the studio. In the spring 1987 Citadel Journal, there is a feature on some of Colin's brilliant dioramas, and as someone with an intense and abiding fondness for this particular modelling art, I have spent a lot of time lingering over these magnificent creations. Even with that incredible body of work already built up, for me, I think it's Colin Dixon's work as a sculptor that has had the most impact, and I suspect that's probably true for many others as well. It was Colin Dixon whose work on the dwarves really solidified the version that I see in my head. He really helped to define what I consider to be the definitive Warhammer dwarf. Amongst his many amazing dwarf models are the classic miners, early Norse dwarves, and hammerers, and his 6th edition Longbeards are a genuine triumph. But it's in his dwarven character work, such as those he created for Grudge of Drong, that I think the most fun is to be had. These are just really, really fun models. Dixon turned his hand to a great many miniatures though, producing Skaven and Snotlings, Scabbies and Scavies, and Plague Zombies for Necromunda. There's so much amazing work he did over the years. For the Dogs of War, Colin Dixon crafted 2 of the units that I love the most in Warhammer. I just think that these are both fantastic. They're the only Dogs of War units I own, and I just absolutely love them. Lumping Kroup's Halflings and Richter Kruger's Skeletons. Lumping Kroup's Fighting Cocks are a regiment of halfling archers with bellies as big as their bows, whilst the Cursed Company of Richter Kruger are a unit of skeleton warriors comprised of fallen fighters from many races of the old world. Dwarves, elves, Skaven, orcs, even lizard men are represented here. A full accounting of Colin Dixon's wide range of amazing miniatures produced whilst at Games Workshop would be incredible fun, but it would also take a great deal of time. So many miniatures has he produced that have impacted and changed and just influenced the brilliance of the Warhammer world. Colin Dixon left Games Workshop in 2002 and eventually went to work on historicals at Perry Miniatures, in what the Perrys have understandably described as a dream team with Nigel Stillman and Di Eaton. In the description below, I've included a link to the Facebook post from Perry Miniatures that announces the sad news of Colin Dixon's passing. I've also included a link to the very personal and poignant post on the Rambling Longbeard blog that remembers Colin Dixon's work in more detail. Well worth a read. I have no doubt at all that many of us here in the community have long marvelled at, laboured over, and played with the fruits of Colin Dixon's wonderful talent as a miniatures designer. I hope that Colin, like many of the artists involved in creating the Warhammer world that we love, was aware of just how incredible a gift he gave to so many of us. My condolences go out to Colin Dixon's family and friends. And to fellow fans of his work, my only suggestion is that the next time we roll dice, we do so in his honour. Thank you for watching. I'm Jordan, and this is Jordan Sorcery.